LSU, the reigning national champs, back at work. We talked to Tommy Moffitt yesterday morning here on Off the Bench. He updated us here, Coach, on a week worth of work for the LSU football team. From your point of view, how's the first week been?
Good morning. All indications, our guys came back with a great attitude. Obviously, it's voluntary workouts. We can't watch them. Tommy and them working with them down there. Our guys are looking great. They're working out. I show up Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. I look outside our window. Our whole team had volunteered to work out.
Wow.
So a great atmosphere. Great first week of work.
Wow, Coach. I mean, we talked about it yesterday with Coach Moffitt. The culture that has been established and built with your program in just the 4 years that you have been there. Coach Moffitt talked about the guys showing up back in shape, and then you're talking about the voluntary workouts on Saturday with the full team for the second season in a row. As a head coach, it's got to make you proud of the culture that you have kind of built over there.
It makes us proud, but it makes me also proud that they understand what it takes, the work it takes. The team last year, led by Joe Burrow, that tremendous class that we had, showed these guys the way. Now they're hungry. Now they're taking over the reins, and they're doing a great job of it.
You bring up Burrow, Coach, and one of the messages you had in talking about the Burrow and 2019 team once that season was over was turning the page. And know you haven't been able to talk to these guys all in all every day and can't talk to them one-on-one. Can you get the feeling of that times have changed and that 2019 is over and it's on to a new season?
Oh, yeah. The guys are hungry. The leadership is this is a new team. You can see guys leading. Myles Brennan is weighing 218 pounds, like I said. You can see leadership all over the place. You guys are coming around. They got a pep in their step. So, yeah, we've turned the page. It's time to go.
And, Coach, on this show, we have broken down position group by position group. You just referenced Myles Brennan. Let's go ahead and dive into it. How do y'all feel about the current makeup of that quarterback room?
First of all, they've done a great job. Coach Ensminger has done a tremendous job of Zoom meetings, installation. Every time I walk into Coach Ensminger's office at 8 o'clock in the morning, he had all three scholarship quarterbacks there studying on the Zoom meetings. Those guys have been very attentive. I've asked Coach Ensminger how they're doing. They're picking up the offense very well. All three of them, Myles, TJ, and Max, three outstanding quarterbacks. It's going to be fun to see them in camp.
Coach, so you were talking about turning the page. On Ed Ingram's Twitter, he tweeted out a picture of the new plaque, right, with everybody's names on it from the national championship team, and that was awesome itself to see. But me and Jordan, we were talking about Ed Ingram. I heard that you found a pretty amazing Ed Ingram stat. What is it? What is it that you learned about something Ed Ingram's accomplished on the field?
Yeah, it was my son Cody. Cody, he reads all that stuff. He says he did his daddy. In 1,200 reps, Ed Ingram has not given up a sack. I said I didn't know that, but I'm gonna remind him of it. Pretty good.
1,200.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh, my God.
Coach, you were talking about the quarterbacks, and you talked about Brennan, and one thing that you always start the conversation with Myles is his weight. Can you kind of go down the expectation that you have for these three guys as they go into next season?
Yeah, T-Bob, let me go back to that stat. I have not seen that stat myself, okay? So I don't know how exact it is, but I just was told that he has not given up a sack in a long time. Let's just say that.
Unreal.
That's a whole lot of reps. But anyway, let's go up the quarterback situation. First of all, we recruited Myles. He had a strong arm. He came here. He's developed. And again, I've said this many times. In the new world of transfer portals, most quarterbacks have transferred. Myles and his family stuck behind us. We have stuck behind him. Now it's his turn. And we feel that he's got all the makings of an outstanding quarterback. Behind him, Max Johnson and T.J. Finley, both of those guys were mid-year graduates. Both of them are big, strong, smart, athletic quarterbacks. We're excited about them. Both of them had excellent springs. Both of them are learning. Both of them know the offense. We feel like both of them are going to be fantastic football players.
I know you can't talk specifically about individual prospects, but when you look at the quarterback lineage and recruiting in this state, really over the next 6 to 7 years, it's lined up. You guys have identified who you guys want. I mean, when you look at the quarterback talent in this state, it's really got to give you I mean, it's got to make you proud to be the LSU head coach when you look at the quarterbacks in the state of Louisiana right now.
The thing that helps us is that these players that are growing up in the state of Louisiana and around the country have seen this championship football team. So obviously they want to be like it. And they've seen the success that we've had with Joe Burrow, winning the Heisman, being the first player pick. So we don't have to go into these homes and sell something that these young men have not seen. So, yes, it gives us a big-time advantage. We feel good about the quarterback position. And obviously, we know that when I took over, that's a position that had to make improvement, and so far it has.
Coach, one area of the game that had to make improvement, not even a specific position when you took over, was special teams. You bring in Greg McMahon. It's been fantastic since last year. Cade York, as a freshman, got the job done. How are you feeling about your special teams groups entering this fall?
I feel really good. And first of all, I feel really good because, number one, we have Greg McMahon, who I think is outstanding, an outstanding special teams coordinator, and also an outstanding man to have on our staff. I rely on Greg a lot about our culture, about he's brought in Bobby April, about ongoing skill development, about everything that I need. When I need to bounce something off, I go straight to Greg. He's one of my confidants on the staff, so I got to say that first. Second of all, because of the great talent that we have, and now, we have Zach coming back at punter, who's done a tremendous job for us. We have Avery Atkins, who I don't know how you can get better at kickoffs in the end zone.
Yeah.
And you can remember before those kickoffs going out of bounds and stuff like that, or returns to the 40-yard line. So as a defensive coach, that's field position. We got one of the best, a couple of great returners, and Derek Stingley and Trey Palmer. So we got a lot of speed, okay? And then, Cade York had a good year last year. Did he have a great year? No. But from what we'll see with Cole, it was a little drop-off, but I think that he's going to have a better year this year.
Talking to Coach Ed Orgeron here on Off the Bench. Coach, it is June 16th now. July right around the corner. Camp after that. I mean, you got to be getting fired up about this fall. Are you just itching to go? Are you just looking at that D-line and kind of licking your chops a little bit?
Yeah, it's time. It's time. It's obviously all of our clocks are a little bit off, okay? We're supposed to be having camps right now. We're supposed to have spring ball already, getting ready for SEC media days. So all this is just not quite where we used to be in. And now in July, instead of our coaches going on vacation, we're going to be working on football with our guys and hopefully doing some football school and doing some practice. And so we all got to make adjustments. But like you said, it's right around the corner, and I can't wait. Our guys are getting in great shape. Ray Baker's going to be out this week. It's going to be 90-something degrees, which is great. It's going to get us in shape for South Louisiana camp. What can we ask more,
Coach, has there been any contact from the SEC in terms of maybe you mentioned football school, like allowing some sort of extra work to make up for the spring that was missed?
Yeah, there's some talk. I think it's going to get voted on this Thursday.
Okay.
Giving us a couple of extra hours. There's talk out there. It's going to get voted on this Thursday, but I do believe towards the end of July, we're going to have a little bit more time to work with our guys, not in pads, but they're going to give us a little bit more time. I do believe that's coming.
Coach, you one of the position groups we highlighted on this show a couple of weeks back was defensive line, and you've got a healthy rotation going into this year. You and Bill Johnson have done a great job in recruiting that spot. You've got Benny Logan there as an analyst, but you've brought on another analyst as well. Talk about who's going in to help and coach that position up.
Yeah, Benny Michel is a long-time assistant football coach in the state of Louisiana. Started with John Curtis. Everybody calls him the little Pete Jenkins. He knows all of Pete's stuff. Been at McNeese, been at Northeast Louisiana. been a tremendous recruiter, knows Louisiana in and out, and he's with us as an analyst. And I think along with him, along with Benny Logan, who I think is phenomenal to have on our staff, Christian Lockature, Bill Johnson, and myself, the defensive line is going to get a lot of attention, which it needs to be.
Yeah, Coach, yes, right. Coach, we were talking, this Coach Ed Orgeron joining us here off the bench just like he does weekly, ESPN New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Alexandria. Every week you talk about Eric Gilbert and the tight ends. Last week we talked to you about Cole Taylor and how much he's going to help you. And there is another tight end on this campus right now that you are very high on that I don't think a lot of people know are on your roster. Can you tell people who else you're expecting from or you might have expectation from at that spot?
Yes, Nick Storz. Nick Storz came over from baseball. Coach Marinelli was gracious. Coach
Maneri.
Coach, I'm saying Coach Marinelli is my mentor in defensive line. Coach Maneri was gracious enough to allow him to come on over.
Wow.
And see, and Nick Storz are working out with our football team. He looks phenomenal. He's working out hard. Tom and them like him. He's a big athlete. I think Nick's about 6'6", 250.
Yes, he is.
And I watched his high school film with, Coach Maneri sent me his high school tape, and I think he's a phenomenal football player, a phenomenal tight end. He's going to help us.
You got some players there, Coach. I mean, if Storz turns out to be a player, you got – I mean, when you talk about Gilbert, he's an instant day one guy. You talk about Cole Taylor, Jamal Pettigrew. I mean, the options you got at that spot.
Yes, we've done a great job in this. Eric's the best tight end to come out in high school in the last 15 years. Cole Taylor, Steve Ensminger, those guys did a tremendous job of getting him out of Colorado. I think that's the first player that LSU has ever signed out of the state of Colorado. He's 6'6" and a half, 230, very athletic. We got Torrey Carter, who's probably one of the toughest players on the team. Jamal Pettigrew looks like an NFL player right now, 6'6" and a half, 256. And you got Aaron Moffitt there. So we've got some tight ends that are very athletic. These guys can stretch the field exactly what we want.
Storz high school film, Coach. We were just watching it here in the studio. He looks massive out there. He looks like a giant.
His teammate was the guy that went to Georgia and was a really good football player. So we think that we got a player that can contribute, and we're happy to have him.
Coach, what's the goals here for week 2 as the team begins another week of voluntary workouts up there with Coach Moffitt?
Well, continue to work at the LSU standard of performance under Coach Moffitt. Get in shape. We have some guys that left and ate a little bit too much gumbo and jambalaya, so we got to trim them up a little bit. And some of my guys up front, the defensive line, so we got to trim them up a little bit. But you know what? Just get accustomed to being coached again, doing the right things. They're going to school, just getting on track. And then in the office, we're already breaking down Auburn. We're already to the second to last game of the season. We game plan Auburn. Our coaches have done a tremendous job. And then on Friday, we have the Secretary of the Army is coming to visit us on leadership. With several brigadier generals. We're going to trade ideas on leadership. They want to know what we're doing. I want to know what they're doing. I think it's going to be a great seminar for our staff and get better.
Wait, so to be clear, the Army got in touch with you and they wanted to come down and learn what techniques y'all are employing at LSU.
Yeah.
Wow.
Leadership. And I think they do that, T-Bob, I know they talked to Coach Carroll. I know they've been to other championship football teams. I think this is something that they do every year with the national champions,
wow,
which is good. We're going to get a lot from them, and hopefully they can get some from us.
Yeah, Coach, you're talking about Isaiah Wilson, Nick Storz' teammate.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Who's now with the Tennessee Titans. Always appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you for the insight this morning.
All right, guys. Go Tigers.
There he is.
Sir.
Coach O checking in this morning. Tell you there, breaking news, man. It's Nick Storz. If you see Nick Storz' highlight film from high school, you will see that he had a decision to make at the next level, whether it was going to be football or baseball. And trading some of the text messages with baseball coaches, that was something that they went to, when Storz went to them, they were in full compliance with. Like, they were like, yeah, man, go see. And then there you hear the head coach, Orgeron, speaking of a position where they've got players. I mean, Eric Gilbert's the #1 tight end
Yeah.
to come out of high school football ever. I mean, he's the most highly evaluated tight end in the history of evaluating the position. Cole Taylor is a guy from Colorado that can step in and help you out with a big body and catch passes. But Storz at 6'6",
don't sleep on
250.
Pedigree,
Yeah,
too at 6'6" and 250, right? I mean,
and then you bring over Storz, man. I mean, like
the Storz high school fan. If you're not watching on Facebook Live, just go. What did you Google, Danny? Just like Nick Storz highlights or something. I'm sure. Just go check that out. He must have played like the same level of football I did because he looks massive. He looks about twice the size of every other person on that field.